Hi team, Acesup here for PokerNerve. Donk betting can be a great tactic, so here's another short video to help people make better use of this important play. For our purposes, in simple GTO trainer here, we'll just be seeing the active players from a 9-handed tournament table. And in this example, that's the cutoff after raising 2.2x and the big blind player who calls. So since the cutoff will be opening a fairly wide range, the big blind player won't have such a clear nut advantage on this low connected 4-5-6 flop. So they won't want to be using the donk bet a lot compared to had the opener been in an earlier position where they'd be unlikely to hit this board hard. Also, this flop is two-tone, which will reduce the donk betting frequency further. However, we can see in PO Solver, there's still a significant amount of donk betting going on. In fact, 1/3 of the time, a GTO solution bets here on the flop as the out of position player. And PO likes to use a selection of straight draws, flush draws, pairs, the nuts and sets, as well as just some higher card combinations, particularly when they have a backdoor flush. So hands even like King 10 with a heart here, or Queen 9 with a heart on this 4-5-6 two-tone board with there's two hearts and one diamond. Queen 9 of diamonds, so the backdoor straight, backdoor flush. Queen 8 of diamonds at a pretty high frequency. So when you have those two overs with the backdoor flush, you want to be mixing them into the donking range, as well as some gut shots. Here that being 2x, like 2-8. Even here, just the double gutser, 2-8 of spades just being mixed in. So it does still have a little bit of equity we can see here for out of position. Still got around just over 43%. Part of the donk betting range here at some frequency. We've got all the traditional sort of 7x's here, straight draws, a little bit of the 3x. That's the bottom end up and down. And of course, we've got some flush draws, even top pair nut flush draw, at a frequency up and down with a nut flush draw, mixing between checking and betting. So you can see there's no hand that's really using a pure strategy, even the sets and the straight. You can see that even the 7-8 is still checking at a high frequency. The hand that is betting the most is actually the straight and flush draw. So you can see that PO prefers to put money into the pot as it has more equity, rather than how some players might think, and that is to be a little bit tricky and set the trap, as we've said before, is not really a good way to think about the hand, but to go ahead here and check to our opponent and hope that they put more money in on the flop. But remember what we spoke about on this type of board texture, thinking opponents are going to be continuing in the hand carefully and doing more checking, which is going to cost us a street of value when we have these really strong hands. So that incentivizes us to want to put more money into the pot by betting. And of course, that then generates all these other hands that we can incorporate into our range that benefit from getting our opponent to fold and denying them equity. So when we do go ahead and use the bet again on this fully connected 4-5-6 board, even though it is two-tone, we can see here using the smaller size. Our opponent should be continuing 86% of the time. And that's why I said a moment ago, if you think that your opponent with overfold to a donk bet, then you want to go ahead and do a lot more donking. You can see here that our opponent should be continuing even with hands like King 10, 100% of the time. They're never folding when they have a heart. But I think some opponents you might find would fold some of these hands, maybe even a hand like Queen 9 of diamonds to a donk bet, and some of these other hands like even Queen King without a heart is supposed to continue at a pretty high frequency, we can see here. But a lot of opponents will be folding a lot of these Broadway combinations. Maybe even some hands like ace highs will fold. You can see here they're nearly always calling. So if you think your opponent is going to be overfolding, then adjust your strategy. You might want to do a little bit more betting. You might even want to size up a little bit. If you think that an increase in size by just a small amount is going to force a lot more folding, remember to think exploitively and adjust according to how you anticipate your opponent is going to play. Knowing your opponent is still a catalyst in playing good winning poker. So that's the end of this quick tip video now. We saw good donk bet sizing, frequency versus a later position opener on a fully connected two-tone flop, the sorts of hands to use, and how the in-position player should respond. which led into us discussing exploitative play by adjusting to the player in the hand with you. Hopefully, some handy reinforcement for those who still aren't making the most from this great tactic. If you'd like me to release more poker tips, please subscribe if you haven't already, and smash a thumbs up. Also, leave a comment and let me know what you're finding most difficult when it comes to donk betting. For me, it's probably finding the right frequency to bet versus wide ranges, particularly against the button. Sometimes I do still miss some good donk betting spots. But as the old saying goes, when it comes to poker, it takes a minute to learn and a lifetime to master. This was Acesup for PokerNerve. Thanks for watching. Want to take your game to the next level? Make sure you check out our MTT poker course. Thanks for watching.